All right, everybody, welcome to the Netfield Experience. This is my first actual interview. Got a guest. I brought my boy on, Jimmy. I'm gonna let him introduce himself here in a minute. So obviously, with the live session, we're just gonna go right off the top, just kind of talking, with fathers, guys, kind of getting together, how we kind of chop it up. So I brought him on. Obviously, you can see on the bottom, this is what I call, he is the blended family expert unicorn. His cat right here is gonna share his story. So with that being said, I'm gonna hand out, Jimmy, just tell us a little bit about yourself and then we'll dive right in.
All right. How's everybody doing? My name is Jimmy. Of course, I have a blended family of seven total. Right? Seven total. All right. But my wife moved up here from Florida. Okay. And she had 3. I got 2. That's 5 kids and 2 adults. That's 7 total. If you don't mind me throwing a shout out there, I do have my own business, DJ Lawn Care and Handy. If you ever want somebody to do something like that, then I'm here and I'll show my business card at the end. Okay. But I'm here with my brother Joey, and I really respect, support, love what he's doing. And I'm glad to be a part of it.
I appreciate that, Jimmy. Hey, we just start right in. Jimmy, tell me how you define a blended family? Like, what does that mean to you when you hear that?
Well, back a couple years ago, it used to be mixed family. You know what I'm saying? Mixed or whatever. Now blended, and like on our wall, we have blended and blessed. All right, but blended means like a recipe. You put it all together and try to make it work and come out with the best course meal that you can. Okay. Sometimes you have to, do different recipes to get the kind of taste you want, when it comes to food. It's the same thing with a family, but you have to blend it. It can't be separate. Okay. And I think blended is a better term than mixed. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I got you.
So, I think it tones it down, but also puts it in the perspective that, everyone in the house, at least here in this household, is together. So everyone's needed in the ingredient.
Okay. Hey, so you mentioned 7. Let's go back to that. When I first met you, I don't know if you remember, we was at Buffalo Wild Wings. I came in there.
Yeah.
You went bartending. You're like, yo, what do you do? And that's for those that don't know, we nicknamed this guy the mayor of our area in North Carolina. Brother knows everybody. And when I met you, you were not in a blended family. You were a single dad, right? And you go from, and as I said it, I didn't say before, Jimmy, this is gonna be just me and you just chopping it up, unedited. Right. You go from 1 child to 2 to blended family to 7 and a dog.
And a dog.
And a dog.
A dog. So we got 8.
And there's a long distance component in there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me, man. Like, how does one go from 1 to 2 to 7?
Prayer. But the first thing is you've got to be ready for it, right?
Okay.
Got to be ready for it. And for me to be ready for it, I had to know who Jimmy was,
Okay.
Jimmy had to get out of whatever old self-induced negative ways and really figure out what Jimmy wanted. Right. That's what started because, I'm the man. Right. And I firmly believe that in order for something to work, the man himself has to know what direction they're going in. Okay. And so when I decided to have a relationship with my wife, I had to tell her where I was going. She had to tell me where she was going. We had to take into account the kids. All right.
Okay.
She has to know. I have to know. And now we have to say, what do the kids want? Because they're the ingredient too. So we can't have them fighting and then trying to put it together, because that could be a recipe for disaster. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. How did y'all know, you and your wife? How did you know when it was time to introduce each other's children to each other, and how'd you do that?
I mean, before we, sorry to mean to cut you off.
No,
Before
no,
we
good.
even met physically,
Mm-hmm.
our best component was doing what we're doing right now, Skyping, duoing,
Oh,
because
you
she had
didn't
an
hear the whole
Android.
Jimmy. You
I had
said
an.
something.
I know. I did say. I meant to say Zoom. Whatever that is. I'm
All
old.
right. We're going to FaceTime.
Yeah, FaceTime. Yeah, but we did since I have an Android and she has a what's the other one? iPhone. We
Right.
apps duo, and then the kids talk that way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And even my 5-year-old at the time, who was 2.5, 3, same thing. And they, got together. The boys played PlayStation together. They can talk through that and get to know each other there. Then the girl, she played it too.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew each other before we physically, met each other. You know what I mean? Family.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you feel like that dynamic was natural for the kids, or did you feel that there was still some natural apprehension about, okay,
Oh
that's
yeah.
okay.
Of
Could
course.
you
Of
feel it?
course.
Could you feel that?
A little bit, not
Little bit?
like much, like Dad, I don't want to do this, or Mom, I don't want to do this. It wasn't that. I
Okay.
think. Well, I know. I'll keep saying I know. We told the kids themselves, "Hey, this is the direction we want to go," and they had some, some say in it because again, you don't want a bad recipe and have to throw it out again, and now you're starting all over.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I feel that me and my wife, really took the steps, the little steps before we took the big steps to make sure that everybody was engaged. Now,
Okay.
initially, all great. Now, when we say we're moving in together, that's when some apprehension came because,
All right.
like,
Apprehension between who? The kids or
oh yeah,
everybody?
kids, because now we have to. I don't want to curse. This stuff is.
Hey, you can't.
This,
I just clicked the
okay.
exit over button. You good?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
This stuff is happening, and so they was like, "Oh my God, we're actually doing this, Mom."
Right.
So with the kids, they're like, "Are you serious, Mom?" And with my dad, with my son, and like I said, the 5-year-old now, he had a little bit to say, but not much. It was like, "Dad, you really doing this? Like
Right.
my space is gonna be taken. It's gonna be
Right.
shared again."
Right.
And that was the biggest thing, because kids, even though they're lovely, they're selfish. You know what I mean? Especially with their space and their
Right.
time and mine and what they're gonna do and come and do this. They're gonna take this, or you're gonna spend more time here, or you're gonna spend more time there.
Right.
All right. Now we got to work as a team, and I can't do what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Right. So you go ahead, Jim.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Now, so I'm thinking not only do you gotta blend these ingredients you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know too many fathers that have children that don't have a mom somewhere in the mix, and you have two. So I mean, I'll put you out there, but so you blending kids, and you got two grown women. Hey,
I haven't been lucky.
How did that work?
Well, I'll tell you, I haven't been lucky for my sons' mothers to be, oh, great. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you're doing this. No, it's direct
It wasn't
opposite.
that, huh?
Oh, no.
So, hey, what again? We ain't gonna say no names. What describe that to those that don't know you? What was that like?
It was. I could see, what, to really be transparent, I could see where they were coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because when you look at on their side and they think, well, it's not me, it's somebody else, you can get really put off by that. And so when I feel that my son's mom, the recent one, not the oldest one, I still don't get that to the day, but it is what it is.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But the recent one, like the 5-year-old now, I can see where she's come from because we had a journey that we were on together, and the journey did not end like we said it would at the beginning. So things changed.
Okay.
And when things change and you're still not on the same accord, that can be detrimental for years to come.
Right.
You know, and just because you move on, say me, just because I move on doesn't mean they do. Okay. And when they don't move on, you ain't moved on. You're still in the same space with them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And
how is your either, I don't know, with fiance at the time or wife, like how is she dealing with this dynamic of your children's mothers? And you say one is more or less on board and one ain't on board. How under your roof are you dealing with that?
hey, look, I'll tell you this right here. I know
the answer to your question, but a lot of people don't know. So how you dealing with two moms?
I'll tell you this right here. This right here, and from them, they say the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You get that? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Hey, say it again.
So, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So right. they would band together and try to, conjure sabotage. Up a plan, sabotage, do all that because they're not in a space they want to be in when it comes to me. Right.
Gotcha.
But what I had to learn is if it doesn't affect me, then why let it affect me? You get what I'm saying?
Okay, Jimmy, preach. I say, okay. So go ahead.
But and to that, you say, what can I control and what I can't control? I can control them telling me that your dad's an a-hole. Okay. I am sometimes, and sometimes I'm not. It's according to how you feel about it. Right. I can't control that.
Right.
But what I can control is how the kids see me, how I act around the kids, how I want to mentor them, how I want to lead them. I can control that.
Right.
All the other stuff, it's just stuff sometimes. That's all it is. It's just stuff.
Right.
And do you want to throw it in the trash or do you want to keep it? My trash can's been full a lot. You know what I'm saying? I just take it out and put another bag in there.
Right.
I mean, that's how it is. So, and then you try to, and then you try to make sure that the stuff you're putting in is good coming out. Like I tell my son, trash in, trash out. You got trash in here, trash gonna come out of here.
Right.
You got good stuff in here, good stuff gonna come out of here. And then some people, no matter if they're slang term, baby mama, baby daddy, some of them just don't want to see you prosper until they prosper. They want to prosper first. And then when you prosper, they're gonna be like, oh, I got there first. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's how it is. Even when you try to lend an olive branch to them, no matter if they cussed you out yesterday, you lend an olive branch today. If it helps them, they're going to take it.
Right.
If it helps you and don't help them, you can keep your damn olive branch. You know what I'm saying?
Keep your damn olives.
You keep your damn branch. You know what I'm saying?
Man, and then sometimes, that's. Oh, go ahead, man.
No. Go ahead.
No, because and the thing about it, because I know you, so I'm hearing you tell this perspective, which is wild. And so let's flip the coin. Okay, that's your life, and that's the equation that your fiance.
Can I interject right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Interject right quick.
Yeah.
I couldn't have gotten to where I've gotten mentally right now without good people around you, friends like yourself.
Okay.
Having conversations when I'm when I'm having getting to my, I call maniac mode. And then I can tell you what you said. Peace of mind is priceless. Get that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that conversation. Yeah.
Peace of mind is priceless. And I had to take that into account and be like, wait a minute, is my peace of mind owned by somebody else? Or am I owning it? You know what I mean?
Right.
So good people around you, good spiritual, outlook on your life and how you want to see things and how you want to see things come out, right? Because the Lord has everything. Right. I believe in God. Right. He has everything already mapped out. We already know that. But the people that you have your deepest conversations with and gonna tell you the truth. They ain't gonna sugarcoat it just because they're your buddy, your brother. They're gonna tell you the truth. You wrong or you right, or try this because what you're trying right now is not working. You're a little bit insane, right? And then when you told me things like that, that it sticks. It sticks with me because I take what you said and I'll project it to somebody else. What's priceless to you? Peace of mind. So if you don't have a peace of mind, then you might need to do some reevaluate. And I had to do some of that stuff. So that's one big thing that got me to where I feel like I am right now. So thanks. Appreciate it, Joey.
Somebody actually going through some of the things I've been through. I got that through some what would I call that? Some counseling. I had a counselor that I talked to, and he shared that with me in the midst of what I was going through, and not realizing that I wasn't at peace. And that's part of, I think, what Jimmy's talking about, our circle of friends, and what the guys that we I ain't gonna say run with, just is kind of like this big family of guys, fathers, some single fathers, guys don't have kids, but it's kind of what we do. And I appreciate that. That being said, because there's always two sides to every coin. So that was your life prior to, and how I said your wife's name, how she was kind of playing the hand she was dealt. But on the flip side, as you said before, she has children before you met, and there's a father in that equation.
Right.
When and how did you meet, and how did that meeting go?
Well, moved up, right? They moved up here from Florida to North Carolina. Dad would come see him, but Dad would never come in the house, Pull out the front. I say, hey. He say, hey. I was down there to, first of all, let's backtrack. I was down there to move them out of Florida to move up here. He comes by the house, didn't say a word to me, didn't come meet me, didn't, shit. I don't care. Right. And my thought process, look, I'm moving your family up here. You need to come and see who's with your kids, who's going to be around them, who's going to be with your, your ex-wife. He ain't want nothing to do with it. He was like, well, as long as my wife, is good with it, I'm good with it. And that's, for me, that's kind of like, what the, so be it. Right. So anyway, they move in, he would come up, whatever. So one day I said, let's stop this shit, right? Go ahead. This is you talking to him. No, this is me talking to his son. I said, to myself, I said, stop this shit. And I said, go tell your dad to come in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. He's like, we don't want to. I said, listen, I'm no threat. Go tell him to just come in, just for a minute or so. Right. You know what I'm saying? See where the kids live. Because I'm a big thing on if you're a father, right, and you care just a little bit about your kids, you have to know how they're living.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So anyway, he comes in and you can tell the apprehension, right? Because they've talked about me to him. I've said hey to him on the phone, and that's probably about it. So he comes in, sits at the table, he's not really talking to me. He's talking to the family. And of course, I'm like, yo, do your thing. Then I was like, he didn't stay in 5 minutes. It's 30 minutes. So now it's time to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he was in your house for 30 minutes. Y'all hadn't spoke?
Well, besides hello.
Damn. I mean,
because I was trying to fill it out. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm no threat to you, man. I have your kids. I have your kids. I don't want to be a threat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I don't want the kids to feel uncomfortable either. So anyway, after that, then we started talking. I asked him about, dogs, and the kids talked about getting a dog, and we started talking about dogs. So that kind of opened up the conversation on how we're going. Because sometimes, and just my thought process, sometimes you have to close your mouth and observe and see how people are doing and try to figure out, okay, how can we come across as, let me see what's on your mind. Let me let you open up. Because again, when somebody comes in your house, whether visitor, even family, sometimes they like, yo, what can I not do up in here, right? So I did that. Of course, I offered him something to drink and all this shit, and he talked to the kids. But then after that, we started talking about dogs. He opened up, and then now we started talking about other things, school, boom, this is what we do, blah blah blah. And so from that point on, he stayed, which I thought was going to be 5 minutes, 30 minutes turned in a couple hours. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I let him be a father to his kids. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
I let him be the father to his kids. Even though it's my house, he tell the kids, stop doing this. Hey, your dad said stop doing it. That's your dad.
Hey, Jimmy, remind me to come back to that one. Go ahead.
Right? That's your dad. You're
Right.
talking about school, that's your dad. So I'm like, hey, look, I'm bonus dad. Take care of him. But you meet me, you need to, I want to give you, you deserve it. Ain't no giving you shit. Mm-hmm. You deserve to be a father because you're here. You deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you ain't doing nothing crazy, talking dumb, whatever, then you deserve to be a father. Mm. I'll back you up. You know what I mean?
Did you?
So anyway,
go ahead.
And so it went from there, and then now it's fine. But good.
Did you sense? Because I always have wondered with blended families, and when it came to discipline, you talked about when his children were speaking to him or not. Was that something that you, your wife, and him talked about as far as discipline, or how does that work under your house? Is it everybody disciplines everybody, or is it?
You know what? Discipline. That's the biggest thing, because again, not only do I have friends as counselor, I have a counselor myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember I'm thinking, we need to do it this way because this is how I was raised, and how I do my kids, and then when her kids, have an issue, I try to, stand up, you know what I'm saying? Do what I think. And then they didn't respond.
Her kids didn't respond to you at first.
Not the way I wanted them to respond. You get what I'm saying?
Real quick, can I tell everybody first of all, you left out that you are a retired Marine. So
yeah.
You left that part out about when he says how he operates. He kind of left out the discipline structure. Yeah. Go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
The structure is like, boo, right? Or whatever. Right. And it's not like that. So I'm scratching my head, I'm going outside, I'm getting upset, I'm doing all kinds of stuff, I'm going to her, blah, 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 blah. But they understand, they just have to give some time. It's time. Hell. Yeah, we got to get this shit done, right? So anyway, I go to my counselor, and she gave me some great advice. She says, don't upset yourself with people that are trying to get used to you and you're trying to get used to them.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because they could be just the same way as you are. He's not responding to me like I want him to respond. And we go in this big ass magnet that's not attracting. We just right. So she tells me, let the mom do her thing, and you just back her up. Let her know and let her, run it by her, and then you go from there. And it takes so much stress off you. Because they can respond to her more than they can respond to you until they get to know you.
So is it fair to say that it's going both ways? Your wife is disciplining your boys and hers equally? Or
yes,
is it just however the discipline needs to be administered, whoever?
However it needs to be, because when you're dealing with multiple children that's not yours, blended family, oh my God, the personalities are out the roof. You get what I'm saying?
How many did you say you had again, Jim?
We got 5.
Yes, and a dog.
And a dog, which is right now, is its own thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that is that's the dynamic that is an everyday, not job, just work in progress. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is, just work in progress. You got to wake up and love the work, to be in a blended family. You have to love that work, no matter how pissed off you are, or how happy you are. Those moments turn into something great, right? And then you have those moments like you just shaking your head and look at this right here. Like, man, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And you're looking at your watch and you're like, I know I just told them something 10 minutes ago. They ain't done it. I'm gonna snap up in this joint. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody going to pay something.
Some rent is due. You feel me? But then you know what you have to do with the rent's due? You're the man who pays it. You're the man who pays the mortgage. So it's gonna get paid, right? If you're looking at the dynamic where I'm trying to come from, so
I know where you're going because, like I say, I know the family and I know the dynamic. Hey,
yeah,
so
and
I'm a and this is
but
something again that you and your wife do. Let's switch gears. We talking about discipline.
yep,
You two, since day one, find time for each other. Like y'all have, I
yes,
think you called it date night.
date night, yes.
Talk about that. Like what does it look like? How do you carve out that time when there's mouths to be fed, there's other moms in the
Okay.
equation and a dog? Like how do y'all have these date nights, and what does that look like?
So the date nights usually actually work when the 5-year-old's with his mom because he's 5, saying the other kids are teens.
Mm-hmm.
And then on those nights, either we order the kids food or the oldest girl, she'll cook, you know what I mean? But they know the beginning of the week on Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, what else is it? We going out, so don't ask us for nothing. You know what I mean?
Don't ask for nothing.
I mean, don't ask. You ain't going. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they want to roll with you.
Oh yeah, they want to roll because you know what that means? Free food. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, other than that, we try to keep it to the point to where we're newlyweds, but we set this up even before we got married. We need a date night to ourselves. What I mean? We have to have that because we don't want to fall in the monotony of our past relationships that we go out when we get a chance. And sometimes when you get a chance, you don't get that chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had to make that chance. And then when we make that chance, we pick somewhere and we let everybody know. And then we just go out and have a good time, and date again. Even though we're married, we still date, we still do those take those walks and do all that stuff, which is great. Now, wintertime is different than summertime because of the weather. Right. But we still try to make those things work and working out together. Now, that's a great thing too for me and for her because it brings us closer together, working out together.
You talking about exercising and work?
Exercising, working out, exercising and things like that, keeping each other motivated, even though, we don't do it every day, but we're consistent about it, weekly consistent about it, which is great.
Okay.
And we told ourselves when we got in this relationship, we have to be the best example that we can be as parents, even with our shortcomings, to show our kids that, we love each other. You get what I'm saying? Right. Love each other.
Right.
We date each other. We do all those intimate things like we hug each other in front of the kids. We tell each other we love each other in front of the kids. Even when we have disagreements, it's not cursing or anything like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We show them that, our relationship is genuine. It's not always happy, but guess what? I can count on my hands since we've been together over 2.5 years. I mean, arguments we've been in. I'm no bull job, because we look at each other and we say, hey, we're always on stage. We're always on stage. Always. I don't care, good, bad, and ugly. We're always on stage for our kids. Now, will all of them get it? We don't know. We just got to wait and see. Right. But I don't want my daughter or my sons to get in a relationship, and we can't prevent this, but to get in a relationship to where they don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And comfortability, make sure they're strong. And I tell my boys, like, the world is different now. The world is so different now, man, when it comes to what they see, what they hear, TikTok, Instagram, all this stuff, and how they see themselves. And, it's just different. I tell them sometimes, y'all are different, just like we were for our kids, but the access that they have right now makes it more challenging. Right. But we still try to keep the love in the house alive, the love in the house. Right. And hopefully if it's in the house, they can project it outside these doors, So,
yeah. That's again, because you got the The youngest is 5,
Mm-hmm.
and the oldest is
23.
23. And then
Yeah.
you got some teenage,
Yeah,
preteens,
we got
teenagers in
soon to be
there.
16, soon to be 14, soon to be 13.
Yeah, that's so how are you as the dating dad? I mean, are you are you you know, because I they're kids, you know, so you came into
Hey,
this family, you only had boys, and you
but
got a
even with the
teenage daughter now.
hey, we talk about the daughter, but even with the boys is different, dude. You
Talk
know,
on it. You can say it. You can't get the words out.
they're more advanced than anything. And you know what? And their thought process are different. I'll get to the girl in a second.
Right.
Oh no, bump that. All of them. The thought process is different because now you got what do you call it? What do you call the people who don't they're not they have zero sex. You know what I'm saying? Zero sex orientation. Like they're not a boy, they're not a girl. Binary. Is that what it is?
You educating me, bro. I ain't heard that one. Good. We'll go.
Binary.
I need to look that up.
Oh, binary or something like that,
Right.
where they're not a man, they're not a boy or a girl. They could be whatever. So you got that going on, and then we have a conversation about that. And I'm saying, how is that going on? Oh, that's just how it is. You know, I'm like, wait a minute. That's how it is.
He said, that's
You
how
know
it
what I'm
is.
saying? That's how it is. And then in the dating scene right now with the girl, I mean, if I had to say and she's not my biological daughter, but you know, she's my daughter. She's so like mentally strong, and she's
Okay.
focused on her education, and she
Okay.
plays soccer, and she's real like, yo, I like boys and going out on dates and stuff like that, but I'm not about that, you know,
Right.
being
Grown too fast.
grown too thank you.
Yeah.
Growing too fast. She wants to grow
Mm-hmm.
at her level, which is great. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I had some sisters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
16, they were 19. You know what I'm saying?
16, it was 19.
You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, not say nothing against that because that was back in the day. You know how that was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's totally different with that,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, and I don't worry about her as much now. I have the daddy questions. All right,
Mm.
I have the
Okay.
daddy
What's it?
questions for the
What's the
boys.
example of a daddy question?
Well, I'm kind of blunt. Like, what do you want with her? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like, what do you want
this
with
is the
her?
boy.
Get to the boy, yeah. The boy. What do you want with her? To her, what
Mm.
do you want with him? I mean, what the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying? Don't
Okay.
we ain't sugarcoating that. What's going on? Oh, we're
Right.
just friends. So what do friends do? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Tell me what friends do, so I can stay in the lane. What friends do? You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
You know, and then they say we'll do this, and I'm like, well, that don't sound like no damn friend to me. So explain it to me more. You know what I'm saying?
And this is all in
Or
the living
okay,
room, or you in person having this conversation?
hey, we're at the dinner table, right?
Okay.
we
Right.
do we do we do what we call Wednesday family night. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're at the dinner table, and the 5-year-old's not here, but you know, but the older kids are here, and they have
Right.
to go around and we ask questions to everybody. Right?
Right.
How was your day? How's school going? What's going on in your life right now?
Right.
Do you like somebody? Are you dating somebody? Stuff like that, and everybody has to answer. No
Mm.
phones, no electronics, TV's
Right.
off. We have
Right.
some music going, but we sit down there and then we end with the parents, right? But we
Okay.
ask questions. Everybody asks questions.
Now,
Everybody in the
is the question from you and your wife to the kids, or kids asking each other questions, or like how's
but
that going?
everybody, and they even asking us questions. So we
Mm.
all asking each other questions. We
Okay.
all are vulnerable. We all are transparent in this thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Uh, Now, some of them like to talk more than other ones, and
Mm-hmm.
then some of them like, okay, because it's new. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Her family never did that. My prior relationship never did that. This is something that we said, okay, this is what we're going to do on a weekly basis. you know, get to see where everybody's at, because we don't want, as me and my wife, don't want them to get so far out and not talk to them. Yeah. We can't reel them back in, or we didn't plan. I didn't know that. Did you know that? No, I didn't know that. When's the last time we talked? Oh, it's been 6-7 weeks. None of that. This is we try to do a weekly thing, and they open up to us. And at first it was like, oh, fuck, what are we talking about now? What they want to know? They about to interrogate
us. Looking at y'all crazy, like
they're looking at me like this, like, wait a minute, fool. Wait a minute, we don't do this. We eat, we go to our rooms. We eat and go to our rooms. We eat and go to our rooms. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Now they do that, and you know the best thing about it is,
what's that?
They want to start it now.
The kids want to start the conversation.
Yes. Okay. They will start the conversation now. Either it's with them, or they'll before we even get it out, they know what they say. Well, I'm gonna tell you what's going on with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you what's going on with me.
Okay.
And so I know they're growing.
No, you what types of questions is your wife asking, you know, the boys? Is it, I mean, because I can hear in you know, that dad is like, you know, that boy walk in, he like, damn, you gotta do this. You know.
My wife is more or less she sits back and she observes, you know what I'm saying? And she'll follow, sometimes she'll follow my lead, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But the question she asks is, no, she don't ask shit. She tells them,
okay,
this is how it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? These are my expectations.
Right.
Okay. And if anything change, I expect to be told about it. That's how she is. I'm the one that's digging in. She's like, hey, look, this is what I want. This is what you said. This is my expectation. Any of that shit change, then I change. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can respect that. A few things she done, and she'll listen to what I got to say. Right. And then I mean, she's always tapping me like, Jimmy, that's enough. No, it's not enough. I want to get deeper. You know what I'm saying? But she is the one that says, you know, this is where I'm at, and this is how it's going to be, and I can respect that. I love it because she lets me do all the rest of the stuff.
Hey, look, you've bro, I could interview you, like turn this into a series of because I know
I love it.
I know there's, I mean, I'm saying to you as your best friend, I mean, there's so much that, I mean, I'm in my classroom sharing, you know, little nuggets you dropped in. I mean, I guess I could say I've taught your sons. That's a different dynamic because I will tell them in heartbeat, hey, I'm about to call your dad. And they hop to, which they're both great young men. But I guess I would, because we made a commitment tonight that I wasn't going to keep you too long. And I'm going to honor
They sleep. We good.
I'm going to honor that. Hey,
I'm up now.
I'm
up now. They sleep. We good.
What if I kind of had to wrap it up in a sense, what advice, you know, if there's 2 or 3, you know, tips that you would drop with some guy, because there's probably some guy out there now that's like, you know, he's you know, maybe he's met a young lady, you know, she's got a family dynamic, he's thinking he sees some long-term potential there, but you know, she may be out of state, you know, different dynamic. You know, what would you, like 2 or 3 things that you just drop on some guy that's like, hey, you know, keep this in mind, and you can be where you are right now, with, you know, date nights and, you know, family Wednesdays. That as many times I've been over your house, I know y'all was doing that. But
yeah, we do that. Family Wednesdays. And if we can't do it on Wednesday because say I'm out doing baseball or she's out doing something, we do it on the next day we can do it, which probably Thursday or something. But we make time for that every week.
Okay.
But the nuggets I would drop to a man and or a woman, right? Please be transparent with yourself, with that person in the mirror, right? Don't lie to him. You know what I'm saying? Don't make up a lie about him or her to themselves and project it out on somebody else, because it's just going to be turned into a bigger lie. Just be honest with yourself where you want to go. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, communicate. I don't care how people say, well, man, I'm used to this, I'm used to that. But when you start bringing blended families into it and you're really serious about it, you have got to communicate, even though it may hurt somebody. And I'm not talking about hurt somebody as in, you might hurt their feelings because you might say, this is where I want to go. And they say, well, I want to go here. Now you got to compromise. But at least you're communicating the best way you can without hiding anything, which goes back to being transparent to yourself. Because if you're transparent to yourself, you can be transparent to them because you got lives coming in. Lives. You know how they say you don't get a dog for a present, you get them for a lifetime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with kids. Yeah. Once kids come in, they're not just a present for one Christmas, that's for a lifetime. So you have to be honest and transparent with that. And also be yourself. Be yourself. Yeah. You don't need no makeup. You don't need a makeup artist. Be yourself. And then it'll all fall into place, which has happened for us. I told my wife, if you're not yourself when you're away from me, and yourself, be the same person when you are with me, and vice versa, right? Because that's my expectation when you go out. When you go out or you're with your girlfriends, I expect the same woman. I know you. I just know who you are. You know how I am, and you got to accept that, right? And build on it. And that's some of the. I can go 5 and 6 more, but I know we got to wrap this up. But it all starts with that person in the mirror.
And I'm gonna actually say this. I'm not a big goodbye in. What I would do, because you actually said something that I would actually like to talk about. I guess in a show coming up real soon. You lightly touched on the entrepreneurial side of things and some things you're doing out here in the community, and more importantly, businesses you just started. And I kind of would like that to be a show in itself, because there's a lot of things that you and I have talked about and have actually out here doing. And I think that in itself, I just want people to hear your story on how you've jumped out there and done some things that, like we like to say, we went from not too long ago, we just talking about a couple of things and now we're doing those things.
Yes.
And I would love to have you back and touch on that. And
anytime, that.
And again, I'm gonna honor that commitment. Call you late tonight, like, hey, jump on this.
Hey, look, but listen, this is the best time. You know why? Because on my side, I don't have kids running around. I got no dogs running around, and plus, I got time, right?
Right.
Because another thing about that entrepreneurial thing, if you do it right, you got your own schedule. You ain't rushed for shit. You know what I'm saying? And that there in itself relieves a lot of stress, and you got to love it. You have to love it. And I'm learning that right now. I'm outside, I'm inside, I'm building things, I'm putting stuff together, doing lawns, but you got to love it. You know what I mean? And you got to do it for something other than the financial side of it. Because
we talked about that before. I think you and I both said to me, you do something you love and the money will find you. And
what?
And I tell my students that, because they ask me all the time, how the heck you became a teacher? I'm like, because I love learning and teaching, and it's passion, purposes lined up. But that's not this show. But what I am going to do, I'm gonna link your business in the description underneath, and then when we come back on the next show, if I can find a date that works for both of us here soon. We'll dive into the entrepreneurial side of some things,
what they say? What they say? You see that? What they say?
Bert.
Weekly plan.
Weekly plan. Hey, we already talked about the schedule. Hey, this is coming out. This was gonna come out on Wednesday morning, and then we can jump back. We can jump back into this.
Hey, and that's what I love about like this right here. And we talked about it. We put it. And I'm sorry, I know we had to go, but. We put this, a thought became an action, right? Thought became an action. And then we both, in this instance, pushed each other. And you can do it. Right. And that's all somebody really needs.
Right.
You can do it. Believe in you. You're good. And when you have any issues, call me.
Right.
Day, night, late, early. Answer the phone. Right. Because you need that in your life. You need that in life. People like that who believe in you. You know, just like you with me. You can call me, I'm there. I can call you, you're there.
Right.
Priceless. Because guess what? That's peace of mind.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy, I'm bringing you back, bro.
Please. Next time I have a haircut, though.
Hey, when you get one of these, this is easy.
Hey, look, I should have done it before I came, man.
Hey, I didn't tell you. Anyway, I ain't gonna tell you what he thought this was about to be tonight. But hey, Jimmy, man, real, hey, appreciate you. I'm gonna touch base with you. You know, before this comes out, just make sure I got everything linked up properly, and then we're gonna get on your weekly planner. And it might be over there Wednesday. I ain't gonna ask no questions. I'm just gonna come to eat because we grill.
Come and eat because what? Hey, my wife can cook.
I heard
that. And daughter can too. But hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you this right here. I'm giving you a shout out every time. A shout out every time I'm on this show. Right? Many blessings.
Appreciate
this is
that.
A beautiful thing. You know, I feel like a celebrity. You get what I'm coming from?
I feel you.
I feel like a celebrity talking to, you know, another celebrity, which is great.
I appreciate
you know,
I appreciate
that. Or you're giving me opportunity to get my word out there and just do the damn thing. And that's great. I want you to do the damn thing. I want to be a part of it too. And I appreciate that, you know, you let me be a part of it tonight.
Hey, appreciate you, Jimmy. I appreciate you. I'm
gonna
hit this little music if this go right or not. Doesn't like nothing live. Hey, Jimmy, man. Hey, appreciate you, bro. Hey, all right, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, have a great one.
You too.
All right, now.